The quality of our mind determines the quality of the life we live. किंतु प्रॉब्लम टा हला माइंड रो क्वालिटी टा मेजर करिवा पई किछि टेस्टिंग डिवाइस कि सॉफ्टवेयर एप्लीकेशन नाही कोन करिवा ताहले to discuss about the science behind the mind management, the author of mind management, the spiritual leader, the Vedic scholar has joined us this evening. Se houchanti Swami Mukundananda ji.
An IIT and IIM scholar, Swami Mukundananda is an authority on the mind management. He has taken the order of sannyasa under the guidance of Jagadguru Kripalaji Maharaj, and he is also the founder of JK Yoga, Jagadguru Kripalaji Yoga. So JK Yoga is a non-profit organization based in Cuttack, Odisha, as well as it has a presence in Dallas, Texas.
Au बिलंब न करे चालंतु ताहले टिके माइंड मैनेजमेंट साइंस विषय जानिबा स्वामी जी को ठारू.
Namaste and Jai Jagannath to everybody. My gratitude to OSA Atlanta for having invited me for this program. It's a pleasure to be in the midst of all of you. I am going to be speaking on the mind and the power of thought. We are all very aware of the physical body and its part in the head called the brain. Now, what is this mind? The Vedas inform us it is a subtle machine that is fitted inside, not the brain itself, but the software of the brain. Like a computer has hardware and then software loaded onto it. Likewise, we have the brain and the subtle mind. This mind is a factory for thought. It is constantly generating thought. Scientists estimate that in one day, about 60,000 thoughts pass by our mind. Now, these thoughts are responsible for our happiness or our distress. We people don't realize it, but we keep on adjusting externals, not knowing that it's our thoughts that will make us happy or sad. The Western philosopher John Milton, he said, the mind is a place of its own and in itself can make heaven out of hell or hell out of heaven. We may be residing in heaven, but if the mind is agitated, it will give us the torments of hell. And we may be in a hellish environment, but if we have made our mind calm and peaceful, we will experience the heavenly delights. So powerful is this mind. There was once a king in medieval times. He was very miserable and was walking on the terrace of his palace, thinking about the sorrows in his life. There was friction with the queen, the indiscipline of the prince, rebellion amongst the army. When suddenly the king heard sounds of laughter. He looked. By the side of his palace was the hut of a poor family, and they were laughing in mirth. The king thought, how astonishing. This poor family is so happy, and I, the regent of this land, am miserable. So he called his minister and said, Mantri, what is the secret of this family's happiness? The minister said, O king, if you want such valuable knowledge, secret of happiness, it will cost you 99 gold coins. The king said, that's a small price. He instructed his servants to get it. So the servants brought the gold coins and he gave them to the minister. The minister made a bundle and threw it in front of the poor family's hut. It was night time. In the morning, the family woke up, opened their door, and discovered this bundle in front. Initially, they were a little apprehensive. What is this? Is it the neighbor doing some jadoo tona? But then they opened it and discovered the gold coins. They said, wow, God has been so kind. He has given us gold. They started counting it. Never before did they have gold. They counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 96, 97, 98, 99. So they started thinking, what kind of a number is 99? If God had to give us, he should have given us straight 100 gold coins. So they became unhappy. Now look at the irony of it. When they had nothing, they were happy. And now they had 99 gold coins and they were dissatisfied. Unless we get the 100th coin, we cannot be contented. So they said, nevertheless, God has given 99, we will earn the 101. They made a scheme how much they will enhance their savings every day. And after so many months, they would be the proud owners of the 100th coin as well. But the day the saving would not happen, friction, quarrel would begin. The wife would tell the husband, you did not earn enough today. The husband would tell the wife, you spent too much. Why did you put ghee in the dal? Slowly, the peace at home disappeared. 1 month later, the king was again walking on his palace, and from the same house, sounds of quarreling started coming. The king said, what happened to this family? Such a metamorphosis. He called the minister and said, Mantri, what has happened to this family? The Mantri said, O king, this is called 99 ka chakkar. This family has fallen into the vicious trap of 99. They are thinking what we have today is not enough to be happy because all we have is 99. Unless we have the 100th gold coin, we cannot be happy. Earlier on, they were contented in the moment. So if we all think about it, invariably in this world, we are all fallen in the same trap. We may be in Odisha, we may be in Australia, we may be in America, wherever. We may have a condominium in which we are living, or a townhouse, or a bungalow, 3-bedroom, 5-bedroom. We think, right now I'm only the vice president of the company. How can I be happy until I become the president? So we have all pushed our happiness to the future. And the journey to the future is an unhappy one. The consequence is that we have deprived ourselves of happiness because of our hearts. And the Vedas inform us, look, happiness does not depend upon whether you have 99 coins or 100 in your life. It depends upon the thoughts that you nurture. Satu bhavati daridri yasya trishna vishala manasi cha paritushte korthavan ko daridraha. Who is poor in this world? Bhartari Hariji Maharaj says, that person who has harbored many desires in the mind. And who is rich? That person who has cultivated contentment. Now, with contentment, he or she may have 3 sets of dresses. And they say, well, 3 is more than enough. One to wear, one to wash, one to iron. What else do I need? So he doesn't feel any lack in his life. On the other hand, somebody has got 30 dresses, but he says, after 1 month, I have to repeat. How unfortunate. I needed 60 dresses. So he is feeling or she is feeling a lack of 30 dresses. Bhartri Hariji says, that person is poor. We need to learn the art of how to think. Wrong thoughts, they get us into trouble. And the problem with our mind is its negativity bias. So what is this negativity bias? It's just like if mango fiber gets stuck in your teeth, then the tongue keeps going to revisit that place where the mango fiber is stuck. There are 32 teeth and 28 crevices between the teeth. But the tongue doesn't care for anything else. It only cares for this mango fiber, what has happened out here, what is the problem area. Likewise is our mind. 27 areas in your life may be perfect. Your family, your health, your profession, but one area is problematic. One relative is misbehaving. Now the mind keeps on going to that same place again and again. My relative is misbehaving. My relative is misbehaving. This is called the negativity bias of the mind. And this gets compounded because of a phenomenon that psychologists, neurologists have just discovered, which is called neuroplastic nature of the brain. And what is that? In order to think, we engage the neurons in the brain. They start firing up and thoughts are created. So when we repeat the same thought pattern again and again and again, it means the same neurons are getting fired. So the brain has a self-teaching mechanism. To simplify its work, organic changes happen between the neurons to create neural grooves so that those thoughts can come more easily to you in future. So if you thought about worrying again and again, what will happen in my future, then the neural groove gets created. So worrisome thoughts of the future come very easily to you. Instead, if you thought optimistically, positively, hopefully, that becomes the habit of the mind. So one is our negativity bias, and then when it gets repeated, the neural pathways, they result in the grooves, which makes our mind so negative. And the consequence of that is unhappiness, despondency, ineffectivity in our work. And not only that, it affects our health as well. Nowadays, medical science is realizing what the Vedas say, that the mind impacts the body. In Stanford, there is a mind-body lab, and they discover if you start thinking, I am well, the body reciprocates. The organs start functioning nicely. And if you repeat these thoughts to yourself, I am sick, then the body will actually start malfunctioning. This is the reason behind the placebo effect. The placebo is a blank pill that the doctor gives to someone. and says, I'm giving you the latest wonder drug, just tested on 10,000 people by this famous pharma company. And taking the blank pill, the patient gets cured. Because the mind says, I'm well, I'm well. So this is the impact of thought. If our thoughts are despondent and negative, what will be the consequence? But there is no need to be pessimistic. The Vedas inform us you can always choose your path. The world in itself is not good or bad. It is created by God. And how did God create it? From his own self. Like a spider creates a web. The spider's web is made from material whose tensile strength per gram weight is more than steel. The spider's web, its tensile strength per gram is more than steel. Plus, it is waterproof. Scientists are wondering the secret of this. But where did the spider get the material from? Did it go shopping? Have you ever seen spiders shopping in Costco or Walmart? Definitely not. They take the web out of their own body. And when the web is no longer required, they absorb it back into themselves, which means the spider itself becomes the web, and then the web becomes the spider. The Mundaka Upanishad says, Yathorna nabhihi srijate grihnachecha pathaksharat sambhavati vishvam. Likewise, when God wishes to create, he takes the material energy, Prakriti, out of himself, and it starts unwinding to Mahan, to Ahankar, to Panchatanmatra, to Panch Mahabhut, Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu, Akash, and the world is created. So God himself becomes the world, and the world then goes back into God. Hence, our Vedas say the world is the veritable form of God. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyan jagat. This famous mantra of the Ishavasya Upanishad we all have heard. It says, everywhere is God. The world is the veritable form of God. Now, when we remember that, when we experience, I am unhappy, I am miserable, we don't have to fight with circumstances. Circumstances are all right. They're given in our life by God. We must fight with our hearts. We must take the struggle within ourselves and see how we can improve our heart. Those saints who purified their thoughts, they were actually seeing God in this world everywhere. So Hanumanji says, Siya Ramamaya Sab Jag Jani. Everywhere is Sita Ram. The gopis say, Jit dekhu tit shamamai hai. Wherever I look, I see the form of Sri Krishna. So what we need to do then is a simple technique called positive reframing. What is positive reframing? You reframe the way you see the external situation, and all miseries will cease. About 11 years ago, there was a huge flood in Uttarakhand, where there were 3 cloudbursts and a huge deluge, which got compounded because of landslides on these foothills of the Himalayas. And that blocked the streams, increasing the flooding. Villages got washed out. So the television was covering, and of course, our Indian community around the world was pouring in aid. I would just happen to be looking at the television coverage, and the cameraman was interviewing people and asking them what was the disaster at your home. When he suddenly turned to one old lady, and the interviewer asked Mataji, what has been the calamity in your home? And she said, I'm so thankful to God, I'm the blessed one. The interviewer was astonished. He said, your house has not been damaged? He said, my house has been washed away. The interviewer said, your house is washed away and you're thanking God? He said, you know what? My husband is alive. My children are alive. My grandchildren are alive. If they had been washed away, the loss would be irreplaceable. What is there of the house? We'll make it again. Now look, in the same situation where everybody was crying, this lady was filled with gratitude. The house was already gone. She could do nothing about it. But she chose to see the blessings that she had received. All of us in our life have half the cup which is empty, but we also have half the cup which is full. And positive reframing means you look at the full half and say, I've got so much in my life. As I was watching the TV, I was hoping I had been there personally so I could touch that Mataji's feet. Because if you wish to learn positive reframing in the US, psychologists will charge you $200 an hour. And this illiterate lady had done it. So the message, my talk today is a very short one. I thought I'll just give one powerful message. And that message is, rather than fighting with your circumstances to be happy, fight with your mind. And all you need to do is remember the world is perfect, created by the perfect God for the elevation of the soul. Instead, see the blessings you have received in your life and cultivate this emotion of gratitude. And you will find hundreds of reasons to be happy and satisfied. Thank you all very much. Once again, it's a pleasure to be joining all of you. And once again, my heartfelt gratitude for having invited me to this OSA program organized by OSA Atlanta. Namaste and Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath Swamiji.
Friends, questions, if you have any questions, do send us and we will see whether we can route it to Swamiji and get some kind of a response or how do we answer it. But Swamiji, dhanyavad. You when we met back in December, it was such a I say it's such a pleasant experience to having met you, and you agreed to come and participate in our program. Thank you very much. The talk today has been really enlightening, and we are always
see when my assistant Ayush first informed me of this, I said, there will be no time. But then both of you personally came over to my ashram to meet me. And I said, I have to squeeze time out for this. So thank you so much for having come with a personal invitation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And we are always greedy, Swamiji, we want more and more time of you, but we know, how much we have to adjust to kind of accommodate. Thank you very much. Thank you from the whole OSA family and especially OSA-GA Parivar, OSA-GA family. Thank you very much for the beautiful talk.
Namaste. Thank you.